Hi, I'm Sabrina from GBO, your women's gear review channel. We review all kinds of gear for women by women to give you honest reviews. Okay, so today we are reviewing the Bento Bag by Nomad Lane. So let's get into the summary of this bag. First up is price. So this fashionista runs at $298. The main material of this bag is water-resistant nylon. However, we do have LWG certified leather on these top handles here. So for those of you who don't know what LWG is, it's basically the leather working group. So what they do is they aim to work with tanneries and monitor them just to make sure that they are getting the best out of their environmental impact. If that is something that you do care about, I definitely recommend looking at Sustainable Chic's article on LWG certified leather, just as it gives quite a lot of information about it and whether sort of like, you know, the environmental factors of it and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely head over there if you want to find out more. Okay, so moving on to the dimensions. So it has a width of 17 inches by 10 inches in height and then 8 inches in depth. The bag itself weighs less than 2.67 lbs when unpacked, and it also has a capacity of 24 litres. So when we fully packed this weighed about 6 kilograms, just for reference. In terms of colours, they do have quite a good array of choice. So here, this is a jet set black with bronze, and then you can get one with gunmetal, which is basically silver. They also have a bag that is kind of like a pinky colour, so like Bordeaux berry with silver as well. They also have an Aegean green and also a pine green with the silver zippers and logo. So in terms of the shape and style of this bag, as you can see, it is a over-the-shoulder bag. Kind of similar to a handbag really. However, it is unisex, so I would say like an over-the-shoulder bag. And what they've done here is they've tried to make a travel bag that definitely veers away from the hiker's backpack look. As you can see as well, it does have very like minimal branding, so it's quite sort of like sleek, yet simple, which is quite nice. You could definitely wear this with a lot of different outfits or for different occasions. I definitely think that it's great that there is a travel bag geared toward people who are a bit more style conscious or perhaps need something that looks a bit more sophisticated for business purposes when they're traveling. It's something that I haven't really seen before. I have seen bags that have tried to do something like this, but in terms of the travel aspect, they haven't really like succeeded in that. But yeah, we'll get onto that later. So Nomad Lane do a 1-year warranty, and that's basically, it starts from the day that your bag was delivered, and that's in terms of like manufacturing. So if there was anything wrong with the bag that you that maybe like something's fallen apart or it's maybe not up to par in terms of manufacturing, you will be covered for that. Okay, so moving on to extras / accessories / things you should know. So basically there is a bento bag accessory set, which is like a little tech organizer, also a see-through toiletry bag. This is super helpful like when you're going through the airport and stuff because you can just simply take it out. However, that comes at $38. But an important thing to note is it actually already comes included in this bag. The same with the shoulder strap as well. So you might see it online, but if you buy this bag, you'll get it all together. Okay, so let's get stuck into the key features of this bag. So starting from the outside of the bag, the first thing that I want to show you is the fact that it has a very discreet hidden water bottle compartment. So on the right side of the bag, if you're looking at it from the back, there is basically a hidden zip, and when you unzip that reveals like a little mesh pocket. So as you can see, I've tried to put my 750 milliliter water bottle in, so that's like 26 ounce US size. Unfortunately, it's not going in there. Like I wouldn't put that water bottle in there carrying it about and stuff just because it is gonna properly jump out of there and cause a lot of ruckus. So I'd say definitely like maximum probably 500 milliliters you can fit in there. That was something that I was a little bit disappointed about this bag, just because I have like my one trusty reusable water bottle. The whole kind of point of having a reusable water bottle is like to only have one, whereas like I'd probably have to buy a plastic bottle or buy like another bottle Anyway, that's a me problem, something that you probably don't want to hear about. But yeah, it can only fit like 500 mils in here. We've then got these top handles that are LWG certified leather. So they do feel quite sturdy. There isn't like a lot of cushioning into them. However, they do have like a softness to them. In terms of like actually using these to carry the bag, I found that like when the bag was packed, it was like it constantly kept on like slipping off my shoulder. So it'd just be like one handle on and then that would slip off constantly. Personally, I don't find these kind of straps very comfortable, just because of, slipping off constantly. And also I feel like they dig into your shoulder a bit after a while. I think that can be said definitely like if this bag is fully packed and it's quite heavy. However, this leads us on to the next thing, which kind of combats this, to be fair, which is not adjustable, sorry, well, it is adjustable, but an attachable shoulder strap. So basically you can put this on. I'll quickly demonstrate how you do that. So all you have to do is clip it onto the left side and the right side of the bag, just at those little metal loops. One thing that I do like about this shoulder strap is that it is quite long. So basically it means it goes from the back of your shoulder to the front of your shoulder, which definitely makes it a lot more comfortable, especially like on the collarbone as well. One thing I'd say is that it doesn't really have much like padding, so it's not mesh padding or anything. So it is quite hard. However, if you're only using it for a short duration of time, like it's not super uncomfortable. The next cool little feature that we have is on the back of the bag, there is basically a hidden trolley sleeve. So what this does is it doubles up as like a pocket, so you can put stuff in there no problem. However, if you want to use it as a trolley sleeve, obviously you can't put anything in there, but it just unzips at the bottom. And that creates like a little sleeve that you can pop over your suitcase, trolley arms.
Hey guys, I'm Bradley and this is Kazi. We are from Dream Big, Travel Far.
And we are running weekly gear giveaways in collaboration with Gear by Orla. And if you want to be in with a chance to win, then hit that subscribe button and go to the first link in the description to join the newsletter.
Be sure to check your inbox every week to see if you are that week's lucky winner. We'll see you there.
So it has this little pocket on the front, which has a few organisers in there. So you've got some pen holders and other pockets. Great for AirPods or like your phone, or a little notebook a bit smaller than A5. And then you've got the main space in front of the pockets, and you've also got this little keychain as well. On the other side, above the trolley sleeve, there is another pocket which is quite discreet, and it's also, when you're carrying your bag, it will be the closest to your body, so that way it's quite secure as well. You can make sure nobody's sticking their hands in that pocket, but it's great, like a great size for a passport or your phone if you want. But that fits perfectly right in there, just for quick and easy access, which is great for like the airport and stuff. I personally really, really love this little pocket here. I think it's just because it's such easy access for stuff like your phone or your passport, but it is also so discreet just because they put it so close to like the seams at the top of the bag. Although it doesn't have like a lock on it or anything, I do actually feel quite comfortable putting my stuff in there. Just because of the design it's got. So basically we've got two zips here towards the front of the bag that zip away from each other. And this is basically where the accessory pouches go. So what I mentioned before with the tech organizer and the toiletries bag. What they've done is made like a sort of hanging pocket. So you'll see when we go further in the bag. But this is actually super, super handy like when you are at the airport, because in terms of toiletries, you don't have to faff about with one of those little plastic bags and like try and root through your makeup bag and stuff. You can just make sure they're all in one pouch ready to go, and you just simply whip that out when you're putting it through the x-ray machines. You also have another zip on the opposite side of the main compartment zip, and basically that gives you quick access to a big main storage compartment. There is another way to access this, but we will get to that later. So onto the main compartment. This basically opens up like a suitcase. So on the left side of the suitcase, there's a mesh lined section. Basically, it does have those two levitating pockets, which is for the tech and the toiletries bags. In terms of this space, I did try to fit one of the Knack Bags packing cubes in here, so just one of the longer ones, so the small size. However, it was a bit hard to fit stuff in here. Those pockets unfortunately do take up a lot. However, you definitely can fit things like a makeup bag or like a little bag full of something and some clothes if you want to. So moving on to the right side, we have a laptop compartment. So we will get onto this a little bit later. You can also unzip behind the laptop compartment, and that basically reveals a bigger main space. So this is where I found that I could use packing cubes, and this is a great space to use them for. You can fit in shoes as well, so like if you're maybe like a size 6 or so, basically those shoes will fit horizontally, and you can also fit packing cubes, like a large packing cube with clothes in it. I definitely do really like the fact that they've used an open space here, just because on the left side, when I first saw that, I thought that was the main suitcase compartment space just because of the mesh lining. And I was thinking it's a bit of a shame just because those two pouches for the accessory organisers take up so much space. So I do definitely like the fact that there's a big open like suitcase compartment space behind this laptop compartment. One thing I would say though is it would be really nice to maybe have some like even just like elastic loops on the side, just for your like laptop charger or like phone charging cables, just as I used the front part of the laptop compartment case, and it ended up sort of making a weird sort of shape, and like trying to put that together as well, I felt like I had to try and sort of like cram it together to shut it. So it'd just be nice to have a little organisation maybe in the main compartment, just so you're not like having to shove stuff in there and then like root around for it if you want to charge your laptop. So let's take a closer look at the laptop compartment. So it doesn't give a size on the website of what size laptop you can fit in this. However, on measuring it across, so like the screen width would be 16 inches. I put my 13.3 inch laptop in here and it does fit. However, I would say just for bigger laptops, because there isn't any like sort of structure on the back of it, it is a little bit harder to fit them in there, even though it does seem quite big. You also have a front pocket on the front of the laptop compartment, which you can put something in like an iPad or whatnot. It doesn't have fleece lining, so it's just something to be aware of. You might want a little like fabric sleeve or foam sleeve on there. So let's take a look at the bottom of the bag. So the first thing you can see is that they have used the same material here. They have also included these 4 little, well, quite small like metal like legs, if that's what you call them, to sort of give it a bit of support. I always think it's quite a good idea to look at the bottom of the bag, just as you're going to be getting quite a lot of enhanced wear around this area. I think I'd be quite interested to see how this holds up. But again, it does feel quite durable. So yeah, that would just be interesting to see. So onto the fit check and comfortability. This is what the bag looks like on me, and for reference, I am 5'6". So let's talk about whether the bento bag has passed the female body test or not. So being an over-the-shoulder bag, there's not too much really that you can kind of go wrong with in terms of this. Just as there's no like backpack straps or like sternum straps that can fit in a weird way. The only thing I'd say is like the shoulder strap, sometimes that can fit in a weird way. But again, all shoulder straps are pretty standard. So the handles that you use to carry it with, like these were comfortable on first use. However, after a prolonged sort of period of use, and also if your bag is quite packed, these shoulder straps just seem to sort of like fall off your shoulder, and they can dig in after a while if you're wearing it for sort of like a prolonged period of time. With that being said, like it is sort of, I think it's partly down to the style of the bag. I think most bags that I know of that have this sort of style, personally I've never found them comfortable, so maybe I have a little bit of bias there because I prefer backpacks. But yeah, just in terms of comfortability, it wasn't completely there. They did, however, combat this with a shoulder strap, which I found much, much more comfortable. I like the fact as well that they have done like a longer strap, so it goes around the back of your back, and also like the front of your shoulder as well, just to give a bit of extra support. Again, like maybe that shoulder strap could be improved a little bit just by having like mesh padding on the bottom instead of having such like kind of like, it's quite like a, I wouldn't say rigid, but it's just a bit harder. Like the actual shoulder strap is just a bit harder. But I have to say that when the shoulder straps were on, like with the shape of the bag and stuff, it was quite comfortable. Like I didn't feel it kind of like bouncing around, or like it didn't feel awkward or anything. It actually felt quite comfortable having that on the side of my body. So I would say that it has passed the female body test. Comfortability, I'm kind of half and half on that one, to be honest. Okay, so onto the fun part, the waterproof test. So as you can see, the bag is waterproof, hooray! It does say it's water resistant nylon, but it just seems to simply like breeze off there. Another thing to bear in mind with the waterproofness as well, waterproofing, is that basically these bags have reverse coil YKK zippers. So basically that adds to the water resistance as well. I would say that when water was poured over them, it didn't go through or anything. It didn't instantly like repel the water off, but you're definitely going to be like safe in terms of like leakages or like rain or anything like that. Like your stuff's not going to get wet. While we are on the zippers as well, it's quite handy to mention that they do have a little square at the top of them as well, so you can lock these if you'd like to. Another pro of this bag is that it is completely airline friendly. So this can basically fit under seat on most airlines, and that's for the UK and the US. So these are based on EasyJet's measurements, and as you can see, it fits in perfectly to the under seat measurements. In terms of being a carry-on as well, it does fit in the measurements for it. So as you can see here, there is plenty of space for this to fit into it. Okay, so what did I think worked well with this bag and what do I think could be improved? My first pro of this bag is the fact that I love that it's stylish but also functional. I feel like in our world we're only just getting to this point where, you know, you can mix style with actually being functional and kind of comfortable as well. So the second thing I loved about this bag is that it's not too overwhelming with the amount of stuff that it has. So some travel bags can go like above and beyond and they have like all the features and everything, which is great. However, it is a little bit overwhelming sometimes. I feel like with the bento bag, they put everything in that's necessary and helpful, but it's not gone like over the top. So pro number 3 would be the amount of storage space actually inside the bag. I definitely didn't feel like this was a 24-litre bag. Like I felt like I could fit a lot more stuff in, which I thought was great because they're obviously using the space really well and have designed it in a certain way that you can fit a lot of stuff in. So onto the things that I didn't like. The first thing being is these handles here. So it's obviously nice to wear it on your shoulder, however, it's just not really functional. Especially when the bag gets full, which is not great. And the second thing about these is that they are leather. Like just from my personal preference, like I wouldn't really go for a bag that has leather on it. I do know that they did the version 3, so this is the version 4 bento bag. The version 3 did have vegan leather. However, they've stopped that for some reason and now they've used the LWG certified leather. I think the next con on my list would be the laptop compartment. So it just feels a little bit awkward when you're using it. Maybe if it had a little bit of like back panel or something, it might help it a bit. But yeah, it just didn't feel the most comfortable to use and it was kind of hard to like fit in like bigger laptops into the compartment. And my final con would be the water bottle pocket or holder. So it just kind of, yeah, it makes me a little bit sad that it could have so easily been changed, but it feels like it hasn't. I feel like they've missed a really good opportunity. And yeah, obviously I'd love to be able to put my water bottle in my bag because it takes up so much space. So yeah, that's just a bit of a downer for me, unfortunately. So who exactly is this bag for? So the website states that it is for someone who is perhaps a professional and wants to travel in style. However, I think this is great for anyone who wants a bit more of a stylish bag when they are traveling to and fro. So if you've got like a one-nighter or weekend away, this is definitely a good option if you want something a bit sleeker. However, if you are looking for a bag that can double up as like an everyday bag, but also has the suitcase element to it, it might be worth checking out the knack bags. So they're very similar. They've got quite a lot of like travel storage and options. However, they also do double up as an everyday bag as they're expandable. Another one to consider would be the Osprey Arcane as well. So if you do want to check any of those out, you can find the videos on our YouTube channel, or you can see the written reviews on the Dream Big Travel Far blog. So that is our review of the Nomad Lane Bento Bag. If you would like to buy this bag or you want to have a wee nosy at the website just to see if it's your thing, we'd ask you kindly to use the links in the description. If you've enjoyed this review today, why not consider becoming a part of the GBO community as well and give a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.